Okay, I will use these videos to try to convince you that you don't necessarily need to read the whole articles in order to answer most of the question. In fact, actually, most of the time, all the question in the exam. So most of the structure of the article is basically the intro, body, and conclusion. It's just like any academic articles that you can think of. Um, so the body paragraph most of the time consists of like summaries or transit sentence and the summary sentence, and in between is like the evidence and the logic behind it and another evidence, for instance, and or maybe the logic from A to B. Why is that? Uh, so there's quite a few different type of questions. There's one of the most common questions is summarize the paragraph or the meaning of the paragraph. Most of the time, you just need to read the first and the last sentence. That's it. You just you, most of the time you get the idea, or maybe if they're asking you to summarize the ideas of the whole article, then look into the intro and conclusion. Then you're set pretty much on that question. So you don't have to read the whole paragraph and in order to answer that question. And for instance, there's some question that is like the proper word or the order of the sentences and where should you put the sentence, and or some like concept questions. What I mean by concept question is that the question asks like which following statement is true, or like what like from here, from this sentence, what you can infer, stuff like that. You find like basically you can you can localize that question in a certain paragraph and find the word or the concept they're asking for. Just try to skim for the keyword or some synonym of that same word, and you find it. And just most of the time you only need to read its own sentence. If the first the sentence itself doesn't work, read the sentence before and after, and find if there are any supporting ideas for like the logic. The logic has to flow, like for instance, just like any number, like for instance, the increase number, it has to be 1, 2, and 3 instead of 1, 3, and 2. Then if there's like a connection word that is not what you make logical sense, then that question, the answer is eliminated, and maybe there's only one proper one, then that's the correct answer. And sometimes you encounter like there's those two sentences doesn't work, and quite far away you find two locations of the same word or same concept or a synonym of those two words, of those one word, and this is a good indication that this is another focus that you could put on and to see if this location will help to solve the question. So for my argument is basically you don't necessarily to need to read every single word, try to understand every single word. I believe at the time, I mean, of course, if you can be, if you already, for instance, been in America for a few years, or you're born American, then just, well, you can do that. Just read it completely and answer every question right. So good for you, but sometimes it will actually increase your anxieties knowing that there's definitely some word that you don't know, and you cannot finish it. But sometimes you don't necessarily need to finish reading it. You just need to pinpoint the part that you necessarily need the information from to get the question right.